Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of Geekoholics Anonymous podcast. This is your weekly podcast for everything geek, from games to movies, TV, or whatever the hell we want to talk about. My name is Rico, and I'm here with my co-host,
Dayne Cody.
And usually we start off the show with what you've been playing. I'm actually going to put that on pause for a second, because Dayne actually went to Fan Expo in Vancouver, and I want to hear about it.
Hey, I did actually go to Fan Expo. It was a ton of fun. Holy crap. It was, wow. Yeah, it was, I was there for Friday and Saturday, and I was there with some friends. We were doing some filming, we were doing some interviewing. I was helping them out, as well as just enjoying a really good time. And there was a ton of cool people there. I managed to meet, obviously the Filthy Casual guys. I happen to know them already. They're pretty cool. They happen to have a booth there. So we were kind of hanging out with them Friday, Saturday. Saturday night, they actually hosted this incredible party, and it was like a giant geek party. It was fantastic. Heather Leach showed up. Leanna Vamp was there. Ireland Reed showed up as well. It was, it was a really cool party. Hosted by, like I said, the Filthy Casual guys. There was a ton of celebrities that were there. I didn't really get to meet too many of them. But I did know that, Carrie Fisher was there, and, oh man, there was a bunch of other people. William Shatner happened to be there as well. It's not like PAX, first off.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a big convention. Lots of people cosplay, which is really cool. So there's lots of photos and stuff going on, which is awesome. But it's a lot more geared towards buying stuff. It's a lot more geared towards like selling and buying booths and things like that. But
So just like geek merchandise and stuff?
yeah, a ton of that. Obviously, the local store here that I kind of talked about a bit about last week, Toy Traders, they had a massive booth there. So they were, handing out not handing out, but they were selling like really cool geek stuff, merchandise, figurines, busts, all kinds of different like geek merchandise. It was really neat. As well as, there was a bunch of other booths kind of from around Vancouver and other places that were sort of selling similar things. There was also a ton of comic book artists that were there, which was really neat. I won't lie. Nobody huge that I really recognized. There was a few artists that when I was walking around, I sort of recognized via their art. I was like, oh man, I've seen that art before. That's really cool. And, so I was kind of able to meet some of those people. So, as a comic book fan, that was really neat for me.
And they're like selling their art or doing like art on the spot, I assume.
Yeah, they totally were. They were like hanging out in their booth, and when people weren't talking to them, a lot of them were sort of, drawing and, coloring and things like that. Like obviously if they're colorists or whatever, right? So
it's like a mini Comic-Con then, eh?
Yeah, it's a lot more like that. It's held at the Vancouver Convention Center, so it was really cool. But it was the amount of people and stuff that were there, We bumped into, a friend of mine, Trevor Addy, who happens to be a huge stunt guy and a lot of stuff. He just came back from Europe where he was doing stunts for Game of Thrones, actually.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, so chatting with him about a bunch of stuff, which was really cool. It was, like I said, I bumped into a bunch of people kind of like that. That was really neat that I happened to sort of know through some of my connections in Vancouver and stuff. So
was there any kind of gaming presence at all, or?
Actually, Warner Brothers was there, and Ubisoft had a small presence. Warner Brothers had actually a fairly decent sized booth. They were actually showing off the new Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
They sort of had it in behind closed doors. They were there was a big lineup. It was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think they could have it facing the open public when there's people like under 18 there, because that game is pretty gruesome.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. And they were also showing off the new Jurassic Park Lego game. What is that? The
Jurassic World.
Yeah, the Jurassic World Lego game. So I actually had a little bit of time to get some hands on with that, sort of in between my runnings around. It's a Lego game. It's fun. it was, they were on the PS4 there at the convention, so I was messing around with some of that. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's, it's a next-gen Lego game, and you're playing, as one of the characters running around getting chased by dinosaurs. It's going to be fun.
It's like the other Lego games, though, eh?
Yeah, I mean, it's the
same formula.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're a Lego character. You're running around. You're smashing blocks. You're getting more blocks. You're collecting pieces.
Nice.
So yeah.
Did you?
But I mean,
you
again,
didn't play
beautiful
Mortal
and
Kombat,
fun.
did you? Sorry.
No, I didn't. There was a big lineup, and I sort of was, busy with stuff, and I was like, man, I'm not willing to, sit in this lineup for an hour just to play Mortal Kombat when it's coming out in.
I think it comes out next week.
Yeah, exactly. A couple weeks, right?
I will be picking that up, so I'll obviously be talking about that next week.
Yeah, but no, it was cool that they were there. They also had some they were showing videos of The Witcher. They weren't doing any gameplay, but they were showing, videos with gameplay and stuff. Yeah. But they weren't actually doing any hands-on time there. But it was cool, and they had a huge Witcher statue there that was like life-size, kind of with Geralt attacking like a witch or whatever. So it was really cool. There was a full 1-in-1 replica of a DeLorean from Back to the Future, all done out.
Nice.
So that was kind of neat. Yeah. And like I said, besides sort of some of the cosplay celebrities that I managed to meet and, hang out with in some regards, which was really cool.
It's only once a year, right?
Yeah, they do it once a year. It's always the same weekend, and it's actually a bit of a bummer because it's the same weekend as WonderCon down in Anaheim.
And it's like Easter weekend?
This weekend, this year it was.
It just happened to fall on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Easter moves around all the time, so.
That shows how much I pay attention.
But also, Emerald City Comic Con was happening this weekend as well.
That was the one in Seattle, right?
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger, I think, than this one, so. I mean, I was actually impressed with some of the celebrities and stuff that they did manage to pull in, seeing as those other ones were, quite a bit bigger and
I heard the one in
closer
Seattle
to home.
Pretty huge.
Yeah, and WonderCon is massive.
Yeah, WonderCon is massive.
A lot of the big, comic book people are at WonderCon. Todd McFarlane.
So was it like just a lot of comic book artists and then a bunch of cosplayers selling photos and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was a mostly comic book artists and mostly vendors. And then they kind of have an area in the back where you can line up for celebrities when they show up, and they do autographs. And
they don't do autographs for free, though, do they?
It's up to the celebrities. Some of them do it for free, some of them don't. I get the feeling that most of them don't. It's anywhere from what I understand. I didn't stand in any lines, so from what I understand, it's anywhere between like $20 and $60 or so dollars for, photos with them and stuff. So
that's lame.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment in all honesty, because I don't know. I guess I'm kind of used to other kind of conventions.
I just feel like you should be happy that your fans are there, and I guess charge them for like a nice photo, like if you have like nice photos they're selling. I understand selling that. Yeah. And signing that. But like, I don't know, if someone brings something, I wouldn't charge them. You want to take a picture with your own camera? Sure, fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment in that regard. But, to some of these people, I mean, they're so excited that, they're meeting sort of their idol for the first time,
I guess also if they didn't charge, then everyone would be in the line, and the line would be insane.
Yeah, and the lines are already insane. I mean, people were lining up for Carrie Fisher for like, 2-3 hours before she was even scheduled to come out.
Was she wearing her return outfit?
Nope, she was just there as a normal person.
She's pretty old now anyway.
Yeah, she's a little bit old. I saw her from a distance, so she had her dog there as well.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
That sounds cool. I might have to check that out one year.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a check out at least. I don't know. I looked at sort of some of the panels that they were offering, and none of them really were interesting to me. Not really. Like, I'm really big into comic books and things, but I don't know. The panels, they just didn't do an awesome job of sort of, at least for me, getting the panels that I'm interested in going to. As you and I both know from past experiences, Q&A panels suck.
Yeah, they do. They really do suck.
Because people seem, to whatever reason, they come up with terrible questions. And I think part of it is also when you do come up with a good question and ask, you're really putting that person on the spot. And a lot of times they don't give a very good answer. They kind of brush it off and they kind of go on their way, right? So that's such a hit and miss thing. It's like, yeah, that's why it's nice that the panels at PAX where they have developers and, they have like an agenda and stuff they want to talk about and show you. And they take a couple questions, but yeah, like I've seen like footage of like Comic-Con in San Diego and how painful, like you get like super neck beard mouth breather comes up to the microphone and asks some ridiculous question. And then, they're like, it just sucks the air out of the room. Yeah. And then the other questions are so stupid that they've been asked 100 million times and you could get the answer to that question, on any interview, on any, TV guide or any magazine or any, they're just the cookie cutter questions that get asked all the time. If they just went up there and like went up with stories or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, so there was a bunch of panels that were kind of QAs and stuff. I know, one of my friends went to one of the, he was at the the Carrie Fisher panel, and it was a QA panel, and he actually asked a question and stuff. So, it was kind of funny, but, actually he actually asked a really funny question. He asked her for his mom if, Harrison Ford was a good kisser or not. Well, is she in the new Star Wars? I think she is, isn't she? Yes. Yeah, and Harrison Ford. At least the first one. Like, I don't know if she's in episode like 8 and 9. I know she's in episode 7. Okay, so this kind of, now we'll talk about it when we get to news. There's some Star Wars news we can come back to. Yeah. Oh, Fan Expo sounds neat. It ain't no PAX by the sounds of it. Oh man, PAX is so amazing. But you know what? I mean, like I said, being in your backyard, hanging out with all the filthy casual guys too. And the party that they put on, man, was freaking awesome. Like I said, it was really neat, meeting and having a conversation with Liana Vamp and stuff. I was amazed that she was one of the nicest people I've met. She was just super nice. She chatted with me for a while. And I mean, yeah, I was just really impressed with how genuine, and it felt like she was actually giving me the time of day instead of just, okay, yep, you're a fan. That's great. Okay, go away now. Yeah, she must have been pretty painful to talk to. Yeah, she wasn't, though. That was the crazy thing. She was super easy. It was great. Pretty nice on the eyes. Yeah, no, she was a really cool person, though. I was really impressed. Yeah. And same with Ireland Reed. She was a sweetheart. I don't know who that is. Yeah, she's another cosplayer. They both were there. So yeah, that was cool meeting them and like I said, kind of getting to hang out with them later on at the party and stuff. It was all in all, it was a lot of fun. It was a good weekend. Nice. Very busy. I'll have to come. I think I'll have to come next year. You'll have to remind me sooner and give me heck. Yeah, definitely. We'll have to, like I said, I tried to get in media passes, but they never get back to me. So I don't know. They probably don't really have much of a program for that. Yeah, talking to some of the people that I knew that had booths there and things like that, from what I understand, it's a bit of a shit show there. Yeah, it's probably not a very kind of poorly run, and from what I gather, if they were to get somebody in there that actually knew how to manage it and run it properly, I think it could be a much bigger success than it is. Yeah, well, Vancouver. I mean, and it's getting bigger every year. Like, there's no doubt about that. What's the convention center like, say, compared to size-wise to PAX? Could it hold something like PAX? No. It's too small? Okay. It's like, the convention center in Vancouver is probably, how PAX has the two halves? It's like there's the one half on the one side of the road and the other half on the other side of the road. Yeah. This is like maybe the size of one of those halves. For everyone out there who's never been to PAX, that's half. Yeah. They have no idea. Exactly. So if you've been to PAX, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, well, that sucks. Okay, I was thinking the convention center in Vancouver was humongous, because I was thinking there's been like chit chat about finding a new venue for PAX. Yeah, no, there's no way that the one here is bigger than the one
because it's outgrown the
Seattle.
convention center in Washington. So,
hey, I want them to keep it in Washington.
No,
otherwise they're going to go off to some huge place and we're going to get
it's
screwed.
Stay in this area, but I don't think there really is anywhere else to go.
No, I don't. Because the funny thing with PAX is they need this space to be the way it is. You need those big open rooms, but then you also need the small rooms where you can do things like panels and games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you could go to a huge stadium, but then you have this massive open area where, sure, that's great for, booths and things like that, but not so great, to play video games and to just hang out and go to panels and stuff, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's Fan Expo for you. And, okay. What you been playing?
Well, you wouldn't keep your mouth shut about Bloodborne for like 2 weeks straight.
Yep.
And I kind of got the bug to, I know it's not
kicked?
Bloodborne, but I didn't want to spend the amount of cash that they were asking for Bloodborne only to find out that I hated it. So I kind of went online. I looked around a bit. I was tempted to buy Dark Souls 2. But then we'd sort of talked about Lords of the Fallen, and I went online and I did a little research, and the reviews were good. Everybody really liked it. And it was slightly easier than, the Souls games. And they did a better job of sort of explaining how the hell the game works. So I thought for me, a noob at these types of games, that might not be a bad way to sort of slide into those types of games.
Was it expensive or inexpensive?
I got it for $50 over PSN for the PS4.
Oh, you bought it on PS4? I thought maybe you bought it on PC.
I was considering buying it on PC, but I was looking around and doing some research, and apparently there may or may not have been some performance stuff that I was like kind of not really wanting to deal with. And I wasn't sure if they'd completely patched it yet. So
that makes sense.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up on PS4, use a gamepad, sit on my couch. I actually streamed some of it on Saturday morning. Friday morning when I picked it up. I did a stream on Twitch where it was like, hey, come learn to play Lords of the Fallen with me. I've never played this. It'll be terrible and awesome all at the same time. So I played several hours of that, got my ass kicked a lot. That game, I walked into that game. They essentially show you how to kill, they explain the combat to you a bit and sort of this isn't going to be a real hand-holdy game, but they kind of, they do a decent job of sort of explaining, this is how this stuff works. And then I must have killed maybe 5 or 6 guys. And then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, here's this massive boss. Go to town. So
Nice.
He probably killed me 8 times in a row before I managed to, sort of get the hang of things. They do a really neat thing in Lords of the Fallen where experience-wise, every enemy you kill, you gain experience.
So you just get the experience. You don't have to collect it. You don't lose it.
No, you just get it. It shows up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you see it pop up when the enemy dies. It says 42 XP or 100 XP or whatever. But the interesting thing is that the more XP you're carrying, the more XP you'll get from kills.
Oh,
so it actually acts like
combos.
A multiplier. Yeah. Now, when you go to the stone or whatever they want to call it, and you want to level up and you want to put your experience into, talents or into spells or into whatever it is to level up your character, that resets. So essentially, if you want to hold lots of experience, you're going to get more experience. But of course, if you die, you're going to lose it because it ends up in like a ghost. So where you die, you essentially have a ghost that stays in that area. Now that ghost doesn't stay there forever. There actually is a timer. So when you respawn, it starts at 100%. And the longer you take to get to your ghost, the less and less experience you're going to get back when you get there.
So if you don't spend that experience, you don't level up.
No.
Okay, so it's very similar to the Souls series in that regard.
Yeah. So So yeah, so like I said, it's been an interesting sort of learning experience for me. I just killed like the second big boss in the game, and I'm kind of lurking around looking for kind of where else to go. The story is sort of mildly intriguing at this point. Your character is not a very nice guy. Right near the end of right near the beginning of the game, you're given a choice where a guy gets bit by a spider, and you can either leave him and walk away, or you can cut his arm off to keep this, spider venom from rushing through the rest of his body. So it's, naturally I cut his arm off because it seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Well, he would have died otherwise, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you can actually choose whether or not to give him a health potion. You can either tell him, hey, go figure your own shit out, or you can give him one of yours.
Here, let me see your arm. Chop.
Yeah. So there are some like choices in the game. I'm not sure how much they change things because I'm fairly near the beginning still, but it's kind of neat that they're there. Like I said, I'm intrigued by the story. The guy apparently gets broken out of prison, and you're a total, badass or whatever. There's an awesome cutscene at the beginning of the game that doesn't really tell you much of anything besides you show up at this like castle / monastery and all this bad shit's going on and you're trying to sort of get through it, and I don't know. So,
and this is all third person, like medieval times.
Yeah, for all intensive purposes, it's sort of a Dark Souls 2 light, if you will. That being somebody who hasn't played Dark Souls, that's probably not very realistic, but at least for me, it's what I kind of imagine it is anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, from what I saw and when we saw it at PAX in the last summer, it looked much nicer than the Souls games. Like, it looked awesome.
Beautiful. It is honestly a gorgeous game. Like, it's really pretty. And it's hard. I've died a lot. But I kind of am getting what people kind of have been saying with the Souls and with Bloodborne, where yes, it beats the snot out of you, but there's something about when you pass that point that's so, you feel so good about it afterwards.
Yeah, it like clicks. There's this point where, like, up until that point, you're like, oh, fuck this fucking game. And then you get past that, and it's like, yeah, fuck you guys. I'm kicking your ass now. You get into the whole.
Oh yeah,
it just clicks, and then it just feels so awesome.
The first boss for me, I walked in that room, and I think he hit me once and killed me, and I went, "Holy shit! I don't even is this even possible to kill this guy?" The amount of damage I was doing to him was like little tiny ticks. Like, it was brutal.
Was there a trick or a weakness of some sort?
It's patience.
Yeah, there's a lot of patience bosses, but sometimes either it was you were under-leveled when you got there, so that's part of the reason you got your ass kicked, and the other thing was is sometimes you just were taking the wrong plan of attack. You should have been hitting him in the leg or in the back or using some enchantment on your weapon.
Yeah, this one, it was just, the first boss for me, it was just a matter of I needed to dodge, and he did this one big attack where he swings his sword down, and it doesn't get stuck in the ground necessarily, but kind of. And he's open for, not very long. It's such a brief moment in time, yeah. But that's when you can attack, and you can actually get an attack of one or two. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
And it's just knowing sort of when he's gonna do his thing and watching and waiting.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of those games. It's not just when you get comfortable and you know the enemy. Oh, I know these guys. I can run up and fuck these guys up.
Yeah.
Or no, I gotta wait for them to strike, then I counter. And you just learn that from, just watching and observing the enemies.
Yeah, I was amazed. There was, after I killed the boss, I went back through some of the previous stuff that I'd played, because of course all the enemies respawned.
Yeah.
Because I died a million times trying to fight the boss. But I got my ass handed to me like 2 or 3 times from like regular enemies, and I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah,
but
that was always a thing.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm learning, and patience is a huge part of it. And of course, it's that whole risk reward thing with that game, where do you every time you see a save point, do you run up to it and do you offload everything and try and gain your experience and do all that? Or do you try and, maybe hold off doing that and try and gain more experience? Because, of course, the more you're holding, the more you're going to get. But, of course, if you die, then if you don't make it back there in time or in a decent amount of time...
That sounds a little punishing that you got to kind of rush back, which it can force you to make mistakes.
Yeah, there are items in the game as well that you can get that allow you to pull your ghost, essentially, from nowhere. So essentially, if you die and you respawn, you can use one of those items.
Oh, nice. And then you just instantly get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing that I do appreciate about it so far is that it's done a decent job of at least explaining the game to me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Explaining how the combat works, explaining, that system to me, explaining like the upgrade system. It's done an all right job of all of that without hand holding. There's lots of, it's not easy by any means, but it's definitely, unlike the Souls game, it's actually telling me sort of, how they would like me to kind of play or how I should play it. You know what I mean? So for a noob like me, I feel like it's the perfect starting point. So,
nice.
If everybody out there's listening and they're interested in that type of game, but maybe they're a little bit put off, that's a little bit cheaper than the Souls games and, dare I say, a little bit easier, but I feel like it's a good sort of starting point in that type of game.
I think Bloodborne's a pretty good entry point.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you a lot, but apparently I've been hearing that there's a built-in manual to the game that apparently explains a lot of stuff.
Interesting.
But they don't even,
See, this
of
is
course,
becoming more interesting now.
Of course, an example of them not telling you anything. But yeah,
exactly.
On the PlayStation 4 menu, you can get into the manual of the game, and it apparently explains combat and a bunch of stuff. I haven't looked at it because I beat the game. I don't need no motherfucking manual.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's cool.
So I beat that, I think on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And got dropped into New Game Plus, and I started playing with the Chalice dungeons.
Oh,
which
how
is
are
kind of
those?
cool. They're really neat. They're like, what do you call it? Randomly generated dungeon.
Right.
And you can get all kinds of different items, and actually, there's enemies and bosses that aren't even in the main game.
Really?
Yeah, apparently there's like 10 bosses for the Chalice dungeons, and there's a bunch of enemies that aren't even in the main game.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's like multi-levels. You find the chalices in the main game. I think you find a couple.
Right. You need those to get into the Chalice dungeons,
and
right?
then you use like items. You sacrifice items like... Anyway, I can't remember any of the names right now, but you find the ingredients. You obviously get the couple you need to generate the first dungeon.
Right.
And then from there, you will find more ingredients and more chalices, and then you can make deeper, like, they're usually about 3 to 4 floors, and there's a boss on every floor.
Right.
And then there's treasure chests, and obviously you can find weapons or different items and experience. So there's just stuff that you can't even find in the main game, like better versions of weapons from the main game. So there's a lot of, and the randomizedness is really cool because it just gives you incentive to play it, right? So it really extends that game, because once you know the whole game, you get to a point where you can just walk through it all, and there's not much point in replaying it, right? Obviously.
Yeah, I heard some guy went and ran through the whole game without leveling his character at all and beat the game.
Yeah, I didn't want, and you can do that if you're good enough. But I didn't watch the video. Maybe he didn't level up his character, but you can still level up your weapons, which would make a difference. So
yeah, I honestly didn't watch the video either.
I don't know.
I just heard that was happening.
I don't know if he didn't level up anything, which is also possible. Man, that would be effing hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering.
I wouldn't say he did it without dying. So, but
I'm sure he did not do that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. The Chalice dungeons are neat. I'm pretty. I will go back to those because that definitely gives a lot of replayability. I started playing some other stuff, so obviously this was like the big Fast and Furious weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Did you end up going to watch a movie?
I did not go see the movie this weekend, but I have some plans to see it this coming weekend. So those are in the works. So I will be seeing it soon.
Nice. Well, maybe I'll save the talking about it, but yeah, it was pretty good.
I've heard that it gives you all the feels when you walk out of it, and that it's been a
I gotta
really
talk
good
about
movie.
it a bit.
Okay.
I don't think it's the best one.
No?
It's as good as the best one. I can't remember which one I like the most. I think I like the one in the one that takes place in Rio when they do the robbery.
Fast 5. Yeah. That was the last one I actually watched.
I really like that one.
Okay.
And I
haven't seen 6 yet.
As well. But I think that one was my favorite one. This one...
That's the only one I haven't watched yet.
This one's up there. It's definitely a good movie. There was only like a couple like laughable, like, okay, that's ridiculous scenes. And they weren't, and they're in line with these types of movies, right? Like,
of course. I mean, they're big,
you've
ridiculous
seen the trailer,
movies.
You've seen the car go from fly from one building to another building.
Yeah.
That's pretty hilarious. And then you see the one where Paul Walker's like running along a bus, jumping off a cliff, which is pretty real. I think those are really the two worst offenders of non-believable, but they're crazy over the top action movies. But yeah,
of course, they're supposed to be big and fun and ridiculous.
It was a good movie, and it was a cool tribute they did for Paul Walker. Like the end of that movie.
Yeah.
If you don't feel anything, you're a freaking robot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like powerful.
I'll look out for that. I'll look out for that.
It was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So of course, because of all that stuff, I went and did a lot of, I went and followed The Rock on Twitter. I went and followed...
Oh, wow. You hadn't followed The Rock yet on Twitter?
You know what? I'm not a huge celebrity whore. Like, I don't really care for celebrities. So I honestly don't follow, like, any. So
I'm very selective with my celebrities that I follow on Twitter.
After that movie,
they got to be funny or they got to be good.
Yeah, it's not even that... I don't know. The Rock seems like such a modest guy.
I've been following him on Twitter for like over probably a year or so now, and I got to admit, he's a really cool guy to follow on Twitter. Yeah. He's surprisingly down to earth, and he seems like a genuinely really cool guy in real life. So
yeah, and I went and followed Vin Diesel, and then of course I went down the rabbit hole of Paul Walker's death and all the stuff that happened with these guys because they filmed so many movies. It's very different than a lot of other celebrities' deaths. Like Paul Walker is not. This was his biggest thing, was his series, right? He wasn't really known for anything else. He's not. He's not a rocker. He's not a rocker Vin Diesel like level.
No,
but he was part of this franchise. Most actors don't make more than a couple movies with other actors. So you make 5, 6, 7 movies with. That's like almost like a coworker at this point. You've spent, almost maybe 10 years between all these movies filmings with these other people. Yeah. So that they legitimately become friends. And I was just reading some of the stuff, like when Paul Walker passed away and Vin Diesel, like, oh my God, like I was reading his post on Facebook and I was like brought to tears. It was like, man. And I don't even know. I don't even know these guys. I don't know these guys. I don't give a shit about me, But holy crap. I'm like, I just read the stuff and the stuff they do. And I fell down this rabbit hole again of all these actors involved in this movie. And it's like, you know what? These are some pretty awesome people. Paul in particular did a lot of helping other people and stuff. He was super religious and he was known for going out and helping people.
Yeah.
And a lot. And him and Vin Diesel were like apparently like best friends. Like,
yeah, they spent a lot of time together.
So I just read some of the posts and I'm like, oh God, holy crap. So yeah, that movie, and knowing that stuff and seeing the movie and seeing that ending, it's like, holy crap. Like, I don't know, it's not really spoilery, but there's going to be a tribute to him, and it was super, super respectful. So that was cool.
That's awesome.
And
that's cool to hear.
To bring it back into games, they released a Fast and the Furious, expansion on Xbox One, timed with the movie. I think it's on 360 as well.
But, interesting. Wait, wasn't that for Forza Horizon 2?
Yeah, but it's standalone.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's
interesting.
I guess I call it an expansion because I guess now you can get all those cars in Forza Horizon 2, which is actually something. There's a couple things I'm going to bitch about. But before I get to that, so I started playing the expansion. I have Forza Horizon 2. I barely played it. I started playing the Fast and the Furious version, and it's like they took a chunk of Forza Horizon 2 in France, and the whole thing is like it's narrated by Ludacris, which is cool.
Right.
And like, you know, their crew's busy doing stuff, so we need you, man, to go get the cars for our big job. And, you know, he's talking about all the characters and stuff. And, you know, and it's just a bunch of challenges to basically a bunch of races, different, you know, rally races or lap races, circuit races,
right,
or like A to B point road races. And basically, you just are challenging different racers, and then you get them into a position where you basically race for pinks, right? Like, you know, you beat this guy in this one event, and then it's like, okay, he's going to race you for pinks now, or, you know.
And now you get to use that car.
Yeah, and then you get that car, so it's really cool. You get all the pretty much most of the cars from the movie. So
interesting.
I played that. I beat that whole thing. I fell in love with it. And I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome! Like, this is a good racing game, and I don't really play racing games. And I'm like, the one thing it kind of brought to my mind is like, this is something PlayStation's sorely missing. It's like a good quality racing game.
Yeah, I do have Drive Club, and while I do enjoy it, it's definitely lacking in some areas, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know Drive Club looked really good. I don't think Forza Horizon 2 looks amazing, but
yeah,
it controls well.
But I mean, if the game is good, I mean, you know, looks aren't everything.
The thing that's cool about this game, like, less the Fast and the Furious thing, but because I beat that, I don't know, maybe it's like, I want to say maybe 10 hours of content.
Okay,
maybe more.
It's still a decent amount of, like,
and for free.
And for free.
You don't have to own Forza Horizon 2. So that's free for a couple more days, I think, till the 10th. So you can download, I think you can get it on, I think it's on 360 as well. So if you have 360, I'd probably check it out. If you don't have an Xbox One, definitely get it. It's free, right? The price is right. So I really liked it, and then I'm like, you know, I want more. So I went back and I started playing Forza Horizon 2.
Right.
And I think I'm like double. I think I'm already 10, 20 hours into that now.
I've heard that game is amazing.
It's really cool.
A lot of people said, like, if you're into racing and, you know, that might be better than, you know, was it Forza 5 or Forza 4 or whatever it was?
Forza 5. Definitely better than Forza 5. It's basically open world.
Yeah.
And you get dropped in. It kind of actually reminds me of Burnout Paradise City.
Oh, I love that game.
That game's fucking amazing.
That game was so good.
That game is fucking amazing.
Yeah. And fun.
But that's an arcade.
So much fun.
That's an arcade game. So
it is very arcadey.
So take that, put real cars into it.
Okay.
And make it more of a simulation racer. But not even a simulation racer. It's arcadey or it's a simulation. That's the nice thing about Forza games. You have like this in the settings.
You can kind of adjust that.
You can adjust everything. So how it works is if you have all the assists on and like easy mode, which is basically like arcade mode, you don't get any bonus experience for races or credits. But the second you start turning things on or off, you boost the experience you get. So like you can turn on off the assisted braking. You could turn off the racing line. You could turn up the computer's difficulty. You can adjust. I think there's like 15, maybe more
so
settings
similar
you
to
can adjust.
So the other Forza games then, because you can do that in like Forza 3 and stuff like that.
Do that too. So you can make it as hard as you want or as realistic as you want. So like swing it over to like a Gran Turismo side of racing games.
Yeah,
or you can just
simulation.
Do it like, I want to just race and have fun. So I'm in a little bit in the middle. I have some of the stuff turned off. I turned off the rewinds, so you know if I screw up, I got to redo the race.
That's on you.
You know, because that's the one thing that Forza came. That was their big thing, is they had the rewind mechanic. So if you totally screwed a turn, you
botched it up.
Rewind. You know, there was a penalty, I think, for points and experience. They just do a flat percentage, like you get less experience if you have that on.
Right.
Yeah, so I started playing that, and oh man, it's awesome. Like, it's cool though. Like, there's so many different things. There's not just the regular races. There's like, you travel from the different venues across the map. You open up new areas, and then you get all the different challenges, which are like cup challenges. You know, there's 4 races in this in this cup, and then you have a race from that area to the next area you open up in the map. And it's pretty neat. And they do some cool things. Like before I came down here, I just raced a train. Like you had to race a train from one point to the next. And when I finished the first area, you race jets, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah, like not on a straight line. I think the jets are kind of like following the roads up in the sky. Okay. So, when they can't cut a corner like a car can, so they have to go out and do the wide turn and come back. So they're constantly zipping back and forth over your head. And until the last strip, it was like neck and neck. It's like, oh my God, they're catching up to me. And like, I just beat them. And same thing with the train. I just beat the train. So it was like it was fun. And there's car clubs. You get rewards for finding these things hidden in the world. They have these billboards all over the world you drive into. You get experience. There's cars hidden.
I've heard of like the barn cars. You can like pull over in the barn and like find a car and you get to play as that car or whatever.
I just got my first one, which was an old, I want to say it was an old Renault, like a classic Renault, like
a Renault.
Yeah, Renault. Sorry, I'm not a car guy. Come on. Yeah. So I just found one of those, and that was really cool.
Sweet.
It's an awesome game. So now this is the part I'm pissed off about. Some stupid fucking things they've done. Number one, you give me all the cars in Fast and the Furious. You give me that game essentially for free. I unlocked all those fucking cars. I got to pay $5 to bring those cars to the proper Forza Horizon game.
Oh,
that's bullshit.
I see.
That's bullshit.
That seems a little dirty.
I unlocked all those cars, and you gave them to me for free. I can play with them on this side of the fence, but I can't play with them over here. That pisses me off. The other,
got to make money somehow, right?
Yeah, well, it's not going to be free forever, so they're still going to make their money. And I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It sucks because I unlocked them, and I feel like you should get them in the game.
I agree.
They give you one of the cars for free, and the main reason I'm angry is because some of the fucking cars are awesome. There's a Veyron, and then there's there's Vin Diesel's car from the movies, right? The Charger
that he always has in like every movie
with the blower out the hood. That car is awesome in that game. That car is wicked, and it sounds like a beast. And it's wicked when you're like in the cockpit view and you can see it. And you see see the little pulleys and stuff like moving when you're
on the supercharger. Oh yeah,
so
it's awesome.
It's so like, man, I want that. God damn it, I want to pay $5, you fuckers. The other major thing that drive me nuts is I was in the middle of a race and the stupid fucking Xbox is like, your game needs to update.
What?
I was in the middle of a fucking race and it's like, you need to update. And I'm like, no, I'll cancel. I'll just keep playing, right? No, it kicked me out of the game. I lost my progress and I couldn't play until I fucking updated. That is
Are you serious?
That is the stupidest fucking thing.
Wow. I can't believe they would do that.
Yeah, like, I was pissed. I was halfway through I understand before I start the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You pop up and I'm in a menu and I'm not in a race and you're like, hey, we got an update. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I've never had that happen on a PC before. Like in the middle of a race, it just yanked me out, wouldn't let me cancel. Maybe I'm an idiot.
The only time that I've ever had that happen in any game on any platform is in a huge MMO, World of Warcraft,
when they bring
like
the servers
Guild Wars
down.
or something like that, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey guys, we need to reboot the servers because we just did this huge update, and so you're going to get kicked out, and then you're going to have to log back in," and that makes sense because they're all freaking online. But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was pissed, to say the least.
I can't believe they wouldn't have at least let you
dumbest thing.
Finish your shit and log out and log back in and then update on the next login.
I wasn't playing multiplayer. It was like a single player race, against the computer. So it just made no sense. I don't know. Like I said, I could be an idiot. Well, I am an idiot. I might have missed something. And maybe I could have fucking canceled it, but it didn't seem like I could cancel it. It
doesn't sound like you could have.
It said cancel on the screen. I go to click on cancel, kicks back to the game, and then it goes right back into that screen again. There's an update available for your game. And I'm like,
it's like, yeah, well, I'm in the middle of a freaking race.
Yeah, it was dumb.
Let me finish that before I do the stupid update.
Pretty dumb. But that being said, I know that game's a little older now, but if you have an Xbox One and you're into racing, that game's awesome.
Yeah. Again, I don't have an Xbox One, but between Forza 5 and Forza Horizon 2, as a car guy, I want one.
It kind of raised a flag to me, and it's like, shit, you know what? Sony doesn't have any racing games. No, they do, but nothing like...
I got Drive Club for Christmas, and I've played quite a bit of it. And while I've enjoyed it a lot, and I think it is a great game, I feel like Drive Club is in a really weird spot where they don't know if they want to be a simulation or they don't know if they want to be an arcade game. Yeah. And so certain aspects of the game are super arcadey, and then other aspects of the game are super simulation. And it's this really weird cross between the two, and it's like it doesn't know what it is. And I mean, I love cars. I'm a huge car guy, as you know, and stuff. So I play it because I want something next gen that's gorgeous, that looks great, and that plays. Yeah, and I want to race in the freaking, Alfa Romeo 4C and stuff, and no other game will let me do that I own, so I play it. But I don't know if the game is a 6, but it's definitely not an 8 or a 9 either. It's, it's a fairly solid 7 type game. Yeah. So yeah, I definitely, I'm hurting for some Gran Turismo or something else really good.
Like I could bet we can do a bet here, like a McDonald's combo meal bet or something. I'll buy you some lunch at PAX or something.
Some sushi.
Some sushi. Oh. I would be amazed if they don't announce something for Gran Turismo at E3 this year. It's I don't know. You don't have to take that bet because it seems pretty goddamn obvious.
I sure hope they are. From a car guy's perspective, I really, really want a new Gran Turismo for PlayStation 4.
I think that would help them. Definitely. They don't need any help. They're selling like crazy, but that's Gran Turismo is definitely one of the few franchise or system selling franchises left out there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's definitely, I personally know car people
so do I.
That will buy
they don't
a
have a
PlayStation
PS4
3
yet
or PlayStation 4.
They don't have a PS4 yet because Gran Turismo's not on it.
Exactly. And they're eyeballing the Xbox One because it's got, Forza 5 and Forza Horizon.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about, I played a bunch of other games. I played a lot of games actually this week, but not enough to actually really talk about them. Because I got into Forza Horizon, I didn't play as much Axiom Verge as I would have liked to.
Oh, okay.
It's Metroid. I beat the first boss. I'm in the second section of the game. Looks like a 16-bit Metroid game.
Right.
It refines on those old school mechanics. It's a 2D exploration platformer.
Right.
AKA Metroidvania, which everyone hates. I don't know. I like that word. I have no problem with describing them that way. I don't know. I
still think that was a stupid word.
I think it's journalism. Journalist snobbery.
I still think it's a stupid word.
I think it's awesome. Because those games are so good. You put them together, you just get something better.
Okay, fair enough. I still think it sounds stupid though.
And the amazing thing is that one guy made that fucking game.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like a fucking loser.
What have you done with your life?
What have you done? You've made a shitty website and a podcast.
Yeah.
And I work for the man.
We both do.
Yeah. I wish, goddamn, maybe one day I'll accidentally hit my head and make a game.
Hey, well, we're doing a podcast now. I mean, who knows what'll happen, right?
Next step.
Give it some time. Next thing you know, Geekoholics has created a game of some sort.
So
you can make some shitty match 3 game.
If you like those platforming games in that vein,
yeah,
it's awesome.
It's worth.
I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to beat it.
Obviously
I got addicted to Forza Horizon because that game's really good.
I kind of want to wait for it to come out on Vita and pick it up for that.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be the perfect Vita game.
If the Vita version was available, I probably would have beaten it because I would have been playing it in between jobs or breaks at work.
Right.
Right now, when I got my PS4 there and I got my Xbox there, it's just like, what do I want to play? Well, I don't.
Yeah.
Just coming off of Ori, I just played a platformer, so I'm not,
Right.
I just kind of scratched that itch recently, so, but it's an awesome game from what I played. I got Battlefield Hardline. I've only done a couple missions. I'll probably talk about that next week.
Fair enough.
I got the goddamn order again.
How far did you get in?
I haven't played it yet.
No.
But I have it. Okay. And I have a day off next week, and I'm gonna play it in one sitting and probably beat it before the next podcast. I also got Xenoblade Chronicles from Nintendo.
Oh, very cool for the 3DS.
Yeah, the
lucky duck,
new
you.
3DS.
The new 3DS, of course.
And obviously, that's a big Japanese 3D role-playing game.
Yeah, which from the Wii I hear is amazing.
Yeah, apparently it's...
Everybody that I know that's played it is just like raving about it, saying like, holy shit, if you haven't played it, go play it.
Regardless of it being on the Wii, it was pretty well known for being one of the best RPGs the last generation. So now it's on the 3DS. It looks awesome, plays awesome. I'm in it a little bit, so I'll have more to say about that next week. From what I've played, it's seems pretty good. If you like... Japanese RPGs, it's right up your alley.
Yep. I do happen to love my Japanese RPGs.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm very curious to find out more about that.
I can't think of anything else. I think there was a couple free to plays, but we're getting a little long in the tooth here.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, as we all probably know, I played a whole bunch of, Marvel Heroes and stuff, but there's not really anything new to talk about there.
I installed it.
Hey, sweet.
So maybe
let me know when you're gonna play.
Yeah.
We can bust out. I just finished the story mode with my main character, so I'm kind of looking to start up with a new character.
We'll have to play that, and then you can be my
spirit guide.
Yeah, my Obi-Wan.
Oh yes. So
let's move into the news. There's tons of news.
Yeah, man, this week was crazy. It started off, and I thought we were gonna have kind of a slow news.
So I'm gonna open up with a rant.
Sure. Okay. News.
So we had the Nintendo Direct last week.
Yep.
Nintendo's dropping bombs left and right. Well, I don't know if they're really bombs. They dropped a shitload of news.
Yeah. We could have almost called our last week's podcast like the Nintendo News Podcast.
Yeah.
There's so much.
There was a lot right up the front with Amiibo. Wave 4, Wave 5, all this stuff.
Yeah, you were pretty excited about that.
I was pretty excited.
Pre-ordered, you were ready to rock and roll.
I was so pumped. Yeah, Wave 4 was, dates are announced, and then they opened up pre-orders, and those motherfuckers. GameStop site went down. Amazon fucking stealth launched their pre-orders.
What?
Toys R Us
They do the whole 2:30 in the morning thing, or what?
Toys R Us did 3 a.m. in the morning on their goddamn exclusive.
Holy shit.
Target. These fucking toys. They're stupid pieces of plastic.
And you're obsessed.
The problem is these people want these goddamn things. And
people like you.
Lots of people want them. It's insane. This stuff sells out in minutes.
Instantly.
Minutes. So that tells you there's a problem. Obviously, not all the pre-orders have opened up yet, I don't think. Like, Best Buy in Canada hasn't announced theirs, but you've missed the boat at EB. You've missed the boat at Amazon.ca. They actually went live before the Americans. The American pre-orders haven't gone live at Amazon yet.
Really? Okay.
Some of the UK,
there's still a possibility there then.
UK and I think France have come and gone in the middle of the night. Okay. Those are the backups, right? If you can't get it here in North America, there was, with the last couple waves, you had the ability to import them from France or UK or Germany. That seems to have gone right out the window now. Oh. I think everyone's either hip to it or they're not shipping to the US or Canada. Because I think the popularity has gone up in those regions.
Okay.
So, it's simple. Fucking Nintendo.
Send out more amiibos?
Don't even send out more amiibos. Just let the fucking retailers take as many pre-orders as people are willing to fucking order. Why?
Oh, are they limiting the pre-orders?
Yeah, so the pre-orders are limited. So that's why the stuff's selling out in 5 minutes. But like, well,
it's because they probably know they're only going to be getting so many though from Nintendo, right?
I know that, but this is the solution. Make the toys for the pre-orders, not the other way around.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to remember it takes them longer to make the toys and package them and ship them than it does to get pre-orders, right?
If I have to wait 2 more months, but I can pre-order the whole wave in one go at one retailer, perfect. But now it's panic. I'm fucking jumping from site to site. I'm missing out. Like right now, Greninja is an exclusive with Toys R Us. Toys R Us is the fucking worst.
Right, because their website is useless. Well,
okay, who's up at 3 in the fucking morning to get a pre-order? Goddamn scalpers are up 3 in the morning to get a fucking pre-order.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm sleeping. I don't wake up for another 4 hours.
I'm a little surprised you didn't set an alarm, to be honest with you.
I didn't know. They didn't announce a specific time. There's always rumors.
That's why.
There's always rumors. So I'm going to bring it back. This is the thing. Either all the retailers who carry these and offer pre-orders announce specific times that they're going to open their pre-orders, and they all do it at the same time. Amazon, eBay, all the retailers.
Everybody.
They do it all at the same time, because then no one particular server is going to go down, I don't think. Because see, what happened was the day after the announcement, GameStop opened up their pre-orders, and they're fucking crashed.
Wow.
They just, you couldn't order them.
Right.
And then some.
Could you go into a store and order them, or no?
You could go in the.
Was it online only?
You could go in the store that day, but if you were in the U.S., they hadn't opened in Canada. In the U.S., apparently, it was like 2 or 3 hour lineups in the stores because it was crashed. Because you would go into the store to do a pre-order that was tied to the website.
That's
so
crazy.
As a customer, man, people get shot at GameStop all the time. I would have been shooting everybody in GameStop. Like that, I would see this shit. Is just going to turn people off. It's hot now, but if Nintendo doesn't fix this, people are just going to get, you know what, fuck it. This is a stupid piece of plastic. I'm going crazy over it. I don't need this garbage. And then they're just going to quit. So instead of this cash cow, you know what's going to happen? They're going to end up with what they're so afraid of happening. The bubble's going to pop, and then the consumer's going to be so burnt out on this bullshit. Then they're going to get stuck with all these toys because there's going to be no one to buy them.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too because they've sort of said flat out, like, some of these characters aren't going to be easy to find because we're only going to be shipping a limited amount. Yeah. So they've essentially created this problem on their own. It's like they wanted to make sure that there was demand for their product, but by doing that, they've almost shot themselves in the foot because there's too much demand, and now they don't know how much they need, and now you're running into this problem.
Like, there's two.
It's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that's why I think they should just change the whole thing. Because it's not just people aren't just buying these for the games. Because the game functionality at this point is pointless,
borderline useless.
Yeah, it's pointless. These things don't even compare to Skylanders or Disney Infinity. They're they're stupid in terms of their in-game. I want them because I'm a Nintendo fan, and these are cool characters, memorabilia of Nintendo characters. That's why I want them, and that's why the majority of people want them. So, like I was saying about the pre-order thing, just open the pre-orders. You got to pay in full, so that eliminates scalpers. 5-6 months down the road, it gets filled.
Yeah,
and then that
would make sense.
And you make what people want. You make as much money as possible. Scalpers disappear, so people quit getting burned. eBay isn't the number one amiibo supplier in the world, making all the money because Nintendo's only selling for $15.
Mm-hmm. eBay's the one that's selling them for $100.
eBay's making more money off of freaking amiibos than Nintendo is.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about that.
You know, I went and looked. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll see if maybe I can get a Greninja for like a decent amount. I won't panic about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're all $100 fucking bucks on eBay.
Yeah,
like, God damn it. And then Toys R Us in Canada doesn't do pre-orders, so we just get, just being in Canada, the different way they handle this stuff. Like, get a goddamn system set up. Amazon is kind of doing it better with they're finally limiting it. Before you could order, I think you can order up to between 4 and 8 of any character for the first couple. Oh, wow.
So people were just like loading up on them.
Yeah, I know some guys that may have got a lot of amiibos. But now it's like you can only get one, which is fine.
Right.
So, that being said, on my Easter Friday, I went to every EB in town and I pre-ordered every freaking amiibo at all 4 locations.
To try and make sure that you get the amiibos that you need.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. So I spent, I think, 2 hours, maybe.
You're a trooper.
Maybe 3 hours. I know, it's fucking stupid. I didn't want to do that on my day off.
I was playing Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, I was fucking
and
around.
You were
looking at EB
pre-ordering
employees.
amiibos.
And the only reason I went to all 4 stores is because they've been canceling goddamn pre-orders, even in-store pre-orders.
Right.
People have been putting money on these goddamn toys. They've been canceling
So you're
them.
trying to make
it's
sure.
Like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it at all 4 stores. I'm going to do all of them. You know, chances are, I bet you half of these are going to get canceled. And if I don't need them, I'll just cancel them in store and I'll just pick up the one set from the one store at least. But it's like, I need insurance at this point.
Wow.
Yeah, it's...
Well, buddy, I hope it works out for you.
It's a mess. And it's so frustrating because you go and you look at the Skylanders, and I'm sure there's some rare Skylanders, but you look...
My wife right now is so frustrated with Skylanders because there was one character / trap in the last game that they did a stupid Nintendo move on it, and they sort of limited it and tried to make it, harder to get. And she's having a bitch of a time trying to find it. She's really frustrated.
Which trap is that?
A couple weeks ago, it's the Chaos.
I was going to say, I've been seeing those on Amazon and eBay for $75, $100 a piece.
Exactly.
And they're like, what, $8 or $7?
Yeah. She drove all the way down to visit her mom. She hit up every single GameStop, Walmart, Best Buy, anything that she could think of that might sell Skylanders from here all the way to her mother's house. And her mom lives in Walla Walla, which is like 8 hours away. She hit up every one of those all the way down, hoping that maybe she would bump into one somewhere along the journey. None. Not a single one.
You know what the problem is with those damn things? Is that the employees in the stores know they're rare too. And I've heard employees in stores, sometimes they think you're just dumb consumers. And I've heard people, oh yeah, man, we just got a new shipment of, we got a bunch of the new traps. Oh, cool. I'll take them. They don't even make the floor. And I'm not going to say every store is like that because I think some managers are really responsible and they don't let their employees do that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely heard in a store in town here that they were only getting a couple of the new Majora's Mask 3DS system.
Right.
The employees like, okay, we'll take those. So no one's getting those. And then I heard them talking about traps and I heard them talking about amiibos, and it's just like, man.
Yeah, it's the black traps.
I'm
man.
like, if there was
crack for Skylanders fans right now. If
there was a manager, probably reprimand these guys. If not, maybe even fire them if they weren't good employees. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's super frustrating because there's a few things in the game that
she's locked out of it.
She's locked out of stuff.
Capture chaos enemies, right? So you are actually locked out of.
Well, you can't
content.
capture chaos, right? He can be in your trap,
but you can't use him.
But you can't use him, and you can't play as him in the game like the other guys that you trap.
Content.
Yep. It sucks, and she can't find him anywhere. And like I said,
she can find him, but it's like you don't want to pay $100 for the damn thing.
Well, no, it's because the chaos trap is like you said, it's like $9 or something like that, $7.99 or something at the store. It's stupid.
So to bring it back, you look at the Disney Infinity, the Marvel set.
Yeah,
there's all the guys there.
Yeah,
I can buy the whole fucking set.
Yep, the whole pack.
I don't have to race around from store to store. I don't have to deal with bullshit pre-orders. It's like, there they all are. Look, they're all there. You can buy them all.
I mean, there are ways that you can, there are certain things with the Skylanders and with the Disney Infinity stuff where there is retailer exclusive versions of them, but it's not a specific, the trap, like the chaos trap or whatever is only through Toys R Us. Like that's, it's just maybe they have a different color variation of a character.
And that's the thing that really sucks.
Something like that.
You got a Jigglypuff amiibo, which is exclusive to Target. Well, guess what? We don't fucking have Target in Canada anymore.
Not anymore.
So just like Rosalina was exclusive to Target and Target was tits up before she came out,
Right.
She was on, I think, Future Shop for a whole 6 seconds.
And now they're gone too.
Yeah, and, well, Best Buy. And she randomly came into, if you happen to be at the EB the day they got their shipment, they may have had one or two.
Right.
Apparently they still had Target stickers on them.
Wow.
So anyway.
Well, it sounds like your amiibo fever continues.
So the good news is I have them all pre-ordered except for Greninja. I'll get that fucker some one way or another. I might have to pay extra for him, but whatever. At least I got all the other ones. I got the NES exclusive from GameStop.
Right.
And I managed to get Jigglypuff today.
Oh, wow.
I have a friend who lives in the US. I ordered it to their address because they don't ship to Canada. So on Target,
sweet.
I managed to snag that because it happened to open up. And that's the thing. It's random. Like 11 o'clock this morning. It's like I see an alert go out. Jigglypuff is up. And it's just like, oh, what
wow.
If you're not near a computer, again, you miss out. You're middle of work. You can't go to a computer. You miss out.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Or if you're at work on a computer and you can't do that.
Yeah. That's the one thing I give props to Best Buy, and formerly Future Shop. They tweet out on their accounts when they have limited pre-orders. At first they were bad at it and a lot of people gave them hell. And now what they do, and I don't know what they're going to do now because obviously that whole company's in transition right now, but they announced, hey, this pre-order, like they had the gold Mario amiibo. It's not available in Canada yet. It was available. It's a Walmart exclusive in the US. It's not here.
Oh, okay.
They were like, hey, 3 p.m. pre-orders open.
Wow.
3 p.m. is 6 on the East Coast, and 3 here is pretty reasonable for most people. I got in there. Servers didn't crash. I got my pre-order.
Right.
So hopefully that going forward, everyone starts doing. That's the biggest thing. Is that they just announced the times and made sure their server capacity was up to snuff that it wasn't going to crash, and people can get these things. But I really think Nintendo probably, if Nintendo wants to make money, if you're in the business of making fucking money because you aren't selling Wii U's, open the pre-orders and take as many as, to stop people, scalpers or people from going, oh, I'm just going to order 100, because I'm going to order 100 and then I'm going to cancel. No, you pay in full.
Yeah.
Limit it one per.
That makes sense.
Limit it one per, you pay in full. Nintendo knows if people want 10 million fucking Jigglypuffs or if they want 10.
That would make sense.
They could do it. They got the power. They're a big company.
Yeah.
They'd be smart. Anyway, fucking stupid mules.
I love how worked up you get about it.
Because it's, when you're obsessed, it's collecting and you want to get them all. And when you're obsessive compulsive, it doesn't help either, right? Like it's just so frustrating. And then you start with one and then it's just, you want them all. And at the end of the day, they're just stupid pieces of plastic and you get so worked up.
Yeah. Speaking of nothing to do with that. So did you see The Witcher 3 first 15 minutes?
Yes.
How good does that game look?
It looks pretty good.
Oh, I am so excited for that. If you guys don't know yet, the first 15 minutes of The Witcher 3 got released this week, and you can totally go watch it. If you're interested in spoilers and stuff, and you don't want to see the first 15, then don't bother. But that game, I am so excited for that game. It looks fucking so good.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. When I saw it at E3 a couple of years ago, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, it's gorgeous. It looks like a huge world. They just announced some expansion packs for it today, but apparently the expansion packs are huge. They've still said that all of the content that they announced before is still going to be free, as well as there will be 2 paid expansion packs for it going forward. But they said that both of these expansion packs are upwards of 20 hours of gameplay each. So they're saying that these could be bigger than a lot of people's games are. They're massive. Yeah, so
that'll be pretty cool. Looks so cool.
Yeah. I mean, and luckily we get it in a month, a little over a month from now.
May sometime, right?
Yeah, it's like middle of May.
Definitely looks cool. So, we've got obviously links on the website, and if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out or on the Facebook group. Like if you're into
so worth it.
Role playing games, 3rd-person role playing game, hardcore, tons to do, open world,
awesome, so good.
That's their 3rd one. They've just been getting better and better. So this one's from what I've seen, I don't think it's going to disappoint.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, The Witcher 1 was great, but then The Witcher 2 came out, and it was like they polished it so much more and made it so much better. and I'm from what I can tell, they've done the same thing with the third one. So, I mean, obviously we won't know till it comes out, but
no, we're in the home stretch.
But I'm excited, and it looks dope.
So, did we talk about this last week? Assassin's Creed Victory? Or is this something new?
No, we talked about it's a 2D side-scrolling Assassin's Creed. What the hell?
See, there's so many goddamn Assassin's Creeds now. I don't even know what's what.
So Assassin's Creed Victory got leaked yesterday, much to the chagrin of Ubisoft. They weren't real thrilled about it. But no, Assassin's Creed Victory is the new Assassin's Creed game coming out more than likely this fall, because, they're on that whole yearly cycle thing now. Yeah. It's set in London this time.
This is the London one. There was leaks on this a while ago, but did Ubisoft give out more information, or just was there another leak?
There was a huge leak. Apparently there was a video, of course, that got pulled and everything else, along with screenshots. And then Ubisoft sort of said, like, yeah, we're really disappointed that this happened, and I can't really believe that,
but we're
that would happen.
Really ready to talk about it.
Yeah, that's more or less exactly what they said. So we're disappointed that this happened.
We will find out who did this leak, and we will fire them.
And they more or less said, like, look, we're not really ready to explain and show you guys all of this yet, but yes, that is, real, and yes, that is the new Assassin's Creed game coming out. So so there you go, a new Assassin's Creed game. This one is only going to be for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So they, I know Unity was as well, but it was such the beginning of this generation, and I think this new one is also on the same engine as Unity, so it is running on that engine. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they'll have sort of sorted out a lot of the bugs and the issues that they had with Unity this time around.
Seeing how bad Unity was to begin with, I'm pretty sure I would be pretty positive that this one's going to be improved. I don't know. I might be at a point where I'm burnt out on Assassin's Creed, though.
I think yearly releases, personally, I don't know. For me, myself, I need more than a year in between.
Especially when they're doing the same thing. Yeah. Like, it's different locations, but it's still the same game in general. Like, there hasn't been, like, too many major, like, changes, right, to the series.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're great, games for those people that really fell in love with them. And maybe for those fans, a yearly release is awesome and they like that. But for me, it's too soon. I need at least a couple years in between. Otherwise, like you said, I'm getting burnt out. I mean, I didn't play Unity at this point. I've still got Black Flag. I think I got it for Christmas last year for PS4, and I actually think the plastic is still on it.
Yeah.
That's terrible of me, I know.
Black Flag was really good. Black Flag kind of renewed my interest in the series, and I was really happy with it. But like story-wise, it was pretty weak. It was just an awesome, like the pirating, the whole gameplay loop.
Yeah, I mean, you're a pirate.
Gameplay loop was awesome.
Who doesn't want to be a fucking pirate? Yeah. I mean,
you're a fucking cool
awesome.
Pirate.
Yeah, exactly. You're an assassin pirate. Like,
nice.
So that kind of happened.
You gotta love these leaks, because I don't know, it must be so hard. You work in this company and you can't tell anyone what you're working on, whether you're excited or not, because it ruins the whole surprise, right? And the whole hype train that goes with it. Because when the stuff is leaked out, not controlled, maybe some of the best stuff doesn't get shown, or something shouldn't get shown. It leaks out and it colors everyone's opinion the wrong way, So I can understand why they're totally freaking choked about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because a similar thing happened with, Deus Ex, the new Deus Ex game, Mankind Divided.
That was kind of
that
funny.
got leaked like 2 days early as well. So, and everybody kind of went, well, we were going to show you that in a couple of days, but,
I guess we'll show you now.
That's happening now. So
okay. Tie that into the last story.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I guess Square Enix, is that right?
Yep. Square Enix, yeah.
Announced I don't even know how to pronounce. How do you say it? Is it Deus Ex?
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex. Mankind Divided, the sequel to the game that came out a couple of years ago. That was, from what I heard, Human Revolution. I heard it was pretty good. I think I own it on 3 platforms, and I have not played it.
I own it on 2, and I also haven't played it, strangely enough.
So I guess it must be pretty good. They got a sequel. But the funny thing with this game is they had like some weird Twitch stream going with a dude in like a frickin' cell And pretty much everyone knew right away what it was. So there wasn't much surprise.
Tried to do the viral
and
thing
they had this dude in a cell for like hours on end, and I guess they were going to have him in there for a couple days and have different stuff happen and do this weird, alternate reality, these stupid marketing campaigns. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah.
So anyway, they announced it officially yesterday, but it leaked before the announcement, so their surprise got ruined. It looks cool. It's just a trailer.
It's just a CG movie at this point. It's beautiful. It looks stunning. And I mean, the game looks really cool. They're playing the same character as the character in Deus Ex, was it Human Revolution or Human Revelation or something it was called? The one that we both own.
Yeah, I think it's Revolution.
I won't lie. I've played the original Deus Ex, back on PC. Like,
I hear they were pretty awesome.
They
had
2001
cult following.
It was an amazing game. It was so ahead of its time. You could really play that game how you wanted to play it. It was the first kind of game where it was a first-person shooter, but it had all those RPG elements. When you started that game off, you had a gun, but you sucked at using it. You were so bad. Your aim was terrible. And until you had leveled up a bunch and gotten better at that, your aim was off. You'd go through bullets.
So were you a cyborg in that one too? And you can augment yourself? Is that?
Well, you were human, but you could get augmentations.
Okay. Because there was hacking and all kinds of different stats and stuff in those games, right?
Oh yeah. It was so deep back then. Like I said, it was hugely ahead of its time. Awesome game. Really, really cool. And then, like I said, I didn't play. I have the last one. I think I have it on PC and PS3, I believe. And I don't know why I never installed it and played it. But, like I said on Twitter earlier, I think now that this new one's released, I'll probably have to at least crack the plastic on it.
I think I got it on a Steam sale. And then, it was part of PlayStation Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that looks cool. So if you haven't seen the trailer to that, obviously check out the Facebook page. I believe there's a link to it. Or the website.
Yes,
either
there
or.
is.
So Star Wars is coming out all digital. I guess you can get it on Blu-ray, but I guess on that Friday, April 10th, you can get all 6 movies and bonus content on pretty much any digital site you choose.
Yeah. I mean, I already own it on Blu-ray, the special edition, collectors, all that good stuff. So to me, it's not really a big deal.
No, I don't know.
But I guess there are people that want to go digital.
I don't know why you'd want to go
have to buy. Well, I mean, I guess there's people out there that are interested in getting rid of their.
Yeah, I understand why you go digital, but it's like the digital version is not going to look as good as the Blu-ray. Like the Google Play version and the iTunes version is going to look like shit compared to the actual Blu-ray.
You would think. I mean, I don't know enough about the digital ones to be able to say that.
Digital movies, and they don't look as good as the Blu-rays because you get the digital HD download, right? With a lot of movies, like I just bought Interstellar, right?
Okay,
and the code for the digital version, you can get the iTunes or the Google Play, or you choose where you want to get it from. And I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, that looks good, but that's compressed all to hell. I can tell that isn't a Blu-ray.
Yeah, you know what? But like I said, maybe there's people out there that either don't own a Blu-ray player and don't want to use, and don't want to buy one, but maybe they have, streaming services and stuff.
There's nothing wrong with
use.
That. It's just the first 3 movies should be erased from existence.
Hey man, without those the new 3 or what is it, episode 1, 2, and 3, I don't know if I would have got my wife into the Star Wars movies, to be honest with you.
I don't know. A
couple of years ago, she hadn't seen any of the Star Wars.
So sad.
And I said, look, we're married. You got to watch Star Wars because Star Wars is awesome. And I sat her down and we started with episode 1. And I told her, I said, this is the worst movie in the Star Wars movies. So if you don't like this, just remember that they get better after this.
Yes, they progressively get better.
And, we sat down and over the course of 2 days, we burned through all of them. And now, as much as she hates to admit it, actually, I don't know if I've ever heard her admit it, that she likes Star Wars. If you tell her that, so you like Star Wars now, she generally gives you a dirty look and says, no, I don't.
4, 5, and 6 are amazing movies, so.
Yeah, of course.
Regardless of time. They could remake those movies now and those movies just had such a nice, simple, tight story and are just like the perfect example of how to make a good movie, plot-wise. They weren't like the problem with the first three. Visually, they were amazing, but they were just so convoluted with like plots and subplots and crappy acting, and no one cared.
Yeah, they were the Star Wars. It's what I find interesting with the first Star Wars episodes 1 through 3. They had all the digital, all the special effects, all the this and that, and yet the crazy thing is that they look dated now. And yet, when you watch the original 3,
they don't look so dated.
Episode 4, 4, 5, and 6, because they used a lot of real props and a lot of, not much. I mean, there was a little bit, especially in the Return of the Jedi with the computer stuff, but there was hardly any computer stuff. It was all props and it was all real life visual effects. They hold up so much better, and they look fantastic still. Yeah, they really do.
I gotta watch those on Blu-ray.
Yes, do it.
Watch them leading. I am pretty excited for them. I'm pretty excited for the new one with Disney involved, and I don't know. Disney is Pixar to me. Like the Pixar movies, you see them, they can't do anything wrong. And all the animated movies that Disney have done lately, they're just, they're printing money over there.
They're nailing it. They really are.
So I'm pretty sure the new Star Wars will be pretty good. It'll be a return to form.
I hope so. I really do.
So with that,
you probably know more about this next one than I do.
There's going to be a new trailer too, apparently, because there's this Star Wars celebration going on soon in the States, like the Star Wars convention. Okay. So apparently there'll be a new trailer soon for the new movie. So that's kind of cool. The next one's kind of interesting.
Right.
Angry Joe had a huge blow up on YouTube.
Right. For those of them out there who might not know, Angry Joe is a YouTube personality.
Yeah, he does
YouTube videos, Let's Plays and stuff.
Mainly reviews, and he's he's doing Twitch streaming and Let's Plays and stuff more now. So he did a Let's Play of Mario Party 10. And he put it on YouTube.
Okay. Which makes sense, because that's what he does.
Nintendo hit him with a copyright claim.
What?
Yep. That's damning to a YouTuber. You can get
that's huge,
and then your account's shut down.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing.
Doesn't matter.
It stays on your record for 6 months. To get rid of it involves lawyers and all kinds of bullshit. And
it's stupid.
Yeah, he was pissed off. The reason they did it, Nintendo's come up with this YouTube program where you have to partner with them and they approve you to cover their games,
their stuff.
And if they approve your videos, then they share the YouTube profits with you. So if you don't go through this program, you get nothing. You can make Nintendo videos all you want. It'll get flagged for matching their content and they'll get all the ad revenue. So if you make some viral Nintendo video that gets 1 billion views, you don't get a cent. Nintendo will get all the money.
Oh, lovely. So essentially you have no real reason
to make Nintendo
YouTube
videos
and Let's Play videos.
Even with this partner program, they're not approving anyone yet. I don't think it's in full swing until the end of May.
From what I understand as well with that,
submit your videos. They have to approve it.
Yes.
It's basically,
and it could take anywhere up to 2 days, which to a YouTuber is huge revenue, because they work on the whole idea being that they release stuff right at that moment, like that day when the game releases. Like you've got stuff coming out like an hour later or 2 hours later. So to have to wait 2 days, that's a huge amount of revenue to you that is just lost.
Because a lot of YouTube is just whoever's there first. It's not necessarily quality; it's who does it first.
Well, because if you can get it out there first and get a bunch of hits, then it rises up, and when people search for that, your video is going to show up because it's got the most hits.
Good or not.
And they're probably going to click on it.
Good or not, your video raises up to the top. So this program's kind of crappy, and he was pissed off because, he gets a lot of views. I want to say he's got almost 2 million subscribers on YouTube.
Okay, so he's fairly popular.
His videos, his reviews, most of the ones I've seen in the last couple months are close to 2 million views apiece. Like his Battlefield Hardline review, his Dragon Age Inquisition review, like all his reviews easily have cleared 1 million. He has lots of other videos that, a couple thousand, 100,000 views, 500,000 views. Not as many, but man, he's making money. He's making a living off of YouTube.
Yeah.
So
living the dream, if you will.
So, I don't know how many views he had on this little Mario Party thing. I think he had like 500,000, and then it got flagged.
Right.
So he bitched because he went,
so no ad revenue.
He gets no ad revenue, and 500,000, and that doesn't necessarily translate to 500,000 people watch it. That could be one person watching it 500,000 times. We don't know the real breakdown of how many eyeballs actually watched that video because people could have replayed it. I don't know who really does that for long Let's Play videos, but either way, he's pissed off because he's like, oh, well, all these people saw we were having fun. And then maybe some of those people turned into sales, and Nintendo, I'm doing advertising for you for free.
Yeah.
So, I understand his side of the story. Absolutely. I don't think any publisher out there should stop Let's Plays or videos of their content. And this Nintendo program is just a bad trend, and I really hope no one else goes that route. Because just quite simply, people are going to stop making Nintendo videos. PewDiePie's not making Nintendo videos. He's like, I'm done.
Yeah. I feel like there's enough evidence out there right now that shows that when you put a game out to YouTubers that, have lots of followers and people watch their stuff, that they can actually show, there's enough evidence out there to show, like, when somebody, like these guys does a video, that translates into people actually playing their game.
There's like renewed interest, and
you can't say the same about dropping a video on IGN or GameSpot or Geekoholics or any of that. It's but when people are playing your games and people that are fans of those people are watching that, there's a good chance they're going to go out and buy that game. That's a huge,
I don't know. I don't
them.
know the math. There's quite a few things to this thing. Like, I agree, like, you should be able to make videos on anything. Of everything, but at the same time, I could see Nintendo's stance and any publisher's stance. Like, I make a game, right?
Yeah.
PewDiePie does a video of this game. He gets 3 million views. He makes his $12,000, $15,000 he makes in ad revenue.
Right.
There's no sales of my game. But then I notice my servers are hammered and they're all pirated. Like, how does, in that instance, I'm not Nintendo, so I need money. And then he's making money hand over fist, and he didn't make my game. He didn't do anything. So I understand where the game maker comes from. It's like, this is my game. I don't care if PewDiePie is funny or not. He was funny at the expense of my hard work.
Yeah, I mean, I hear.
I made the music, I made the visuals, I made the game. I know he's funny. If he had if these guys had no video of no games to show, they would have nothing. No one would watch them.
No.
So, so you take that into account. There's two sides of the story, right? Like, I understand how these guys make it. I think Nintendo, maybe on the back end, or all these manufacturers on the back end, need to make agreements maybe with YouTube that's behind the scenes, and then the people don't know it. Apparently YouTube revenue has been dropping like crazy. I keep hearing Total Biscuit complain about it. Apparently he's been complaining about it a lot.
I don't know all the details,
I don't know,
but I've heard that from
I don't make enough
as well.
views to know, like, our YouTube channel doesn't do enough to know anything in terms of what kind of money these guys are making, because these guys make millions of views. So those guys can see, oh, I was making 10,000 a month. Okay, now I'm making 5,000. To them, that's huge. That is huge. That's 50% drop off. I don't know what kind of drop off there is in the revenue, but it sounds like it's less. So who knows? Maybe these things are starting to happen, and maybe that's why a lot of these companies don't say anything and don't do copyright claims, because maybe there is something going on the back end.
Yeah, we're neither one of us are in a position to have to worry about that or know enough about it yet.
So yeah, he had a meltdown. Makes sense. He's justified, and at the same time, he's not justified. Like,
yeah,
he makes great reviews. His reviews are great. They're funny, but if he wasn't allowed to use their content in the first place, he'd have nothing, because he wouldn't have anything. He's a funny guy making fun of games, right? The content of these other people's creations, right? Yeah. Like, these guys, they're talented. He's hilarious. I like his videos. So it's like, one day, who knows? Maybe one day he'll just be, nope, that's it. We're done. Everyone's done. This is all a copyright claim. It gets changed in some court somewhere, and these YouTubes and Let's Plays disappear.
Well, I mean, I feel
I don't think it would happen, but imagine if that happened. Twitch would be gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you kind of have to be concerned about all of that anyways, just all the time. Because you just never know how any of that's going to go. If that's how you make a living off of sort of other people's content, you don't know when that rug might disappear. I don't think that it will, because I think that enough publishers see that people playing their games and people wanting to watch other people play their games tends to be a good thing. I'm sure there are exceptions to that, but I think overall it's a good thing, and I think publishers notice that.
It's interesting because to see what's going to happen, especially YouTube later in the year is going to have their answer to Twitch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if YouTube is going to be able to take it on like Twitch has just from a copyright perspective. I mean, how many Twitch players do you know play, music in their stream, for example? I mean, YouTube has huge algorithms and stuff like that to capture those types of videos and flag it as really copyright infringement and stuff.
See, that's interesting that Twitch does that. Cause they don't allow the archiving. If your stuff has music in it, it gets flagged, on Twitch. They started doing that. That was a huge thing at the start of the year. It's interesting how that works in terms of their ad revenue, because I'm pretty sure the music industry is going to be all over Twitch soon. If they aren't, they must already be for those changes that have happened. But I don't know enough about it. You play music in a store, you have to pay fees.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you play music in your videos, whether it be part of the game music or the music you're playing in the background of your Twitch stream. You run a business.
That's why I don't put music in my Twitch streams.
If you run a business, you have to pay fees, and these streamers and these YouTubers, they're businesses. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of ugly changes as things go on, and this keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, we'll find out.
I can forecast that. We'll come back to this at another time, and then we'll go see Rico was right. Speaking of TV and streaming, well, not really TV, but streaming. This is really cool. It was announced today, I think. Xbox is going to be supporting over-the-air HD TV antenna.
Yeah, for local over-the-air broadcasts.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it's a step in the right direction, especially for us here in Canada. I know down in the US, they've got the cable cards and things like that. So it makes, watching TV through, your provider's boxes and things like that a little easier. But I know up here in Canada, I mean, outside of if you don't have that person's box, then you can't watch any of their content. Yeah. Which is a bit of a bummer from a perspective, we'll never see nearly as much of the cool things that are happening on the Xbox One, or in Europe, the previous generation, the PS3 had essentially a DVR add-on where you could buy it.
They had that in Europe and Japan, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They never supported it here, obviously.
No, we're never going to see any of that here because of the way our TV and stuff is set up. But I think that this is a really kind of decent middle ground, because it allows you to, if you're in an area that has HD broadcasts.
I think we have a couple here.
Yeah, I know I think we don't have many in Vancouver here, but we do have a few. I know the main channels do broadcast. I don't know if I would even be able to get them out here. I mean, I have cable anyways, but for the people that do use sort of rabbit ears, if you will, I think it's really cool. I mean, you buy the Hauppauge TV box. I think it's $70 for the one.
It's a USB dongle to a coax connector, which connects to the HD antenna.
Yeah, exactly. And from there, I believe they're also allowing you to pause TV for up to 30 minutes.
It gives you DVR functionality as well.
Yeah, but only up to 30 minutes from what I understand. So you can't actually record for...
That's just, that's like live TV on the current stuff.
Yeah. So, which is pretty cool. And there's rumor that they're going to be releasing a cheaper breakout box in a few months for closer to $50. Yeah, so
if you don't want to wait, you can go out there and get, basically it's just a PC USB adapter. But I guess they're going to come up with a Microsoft branded one.
Yeah, and I think right now it's more or less just they're saying, hey, we made some drivers that work with the Xbox One.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a neat idea.
There's no tool to see how many stations are available here. My day job, I happen to work in the industry. And I had a customer who had one of these antennas, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I get the like." I think he said he got like 4 stations. He was oceanfront in Sydney, but over the States, from the States, he said he was getting like 4 channels. Like, yeah, they're HD, they're crystal clear. He's like, they look better than the stuff out of the cable box.
They would actually.
Because he said
they actually broadcast
no
in 1080p. Yep, they actually broadcast in 1080p, no compression.
Yeah, so he said,
which is super cool.
You know, he's like, oh, I have the TV for something else, but he's like, you know, in a couple of years, he's like, I'm pretty sure I won't need cable.
Well, the thing is if you were to mix that in an area where you get enough local channels to, you know, you mix that with something like on the Xbox One, the Sling TV player. Yeah. You know, you're kind of laughing. Again, not so much in Canada because of the way it's set up here.
But if you're somewhere like San Francisco, US, like, man, you can. Yeah,
exactly.
These bigger cities,
really
like,
cable cut.
Yeah, cable cutting is definitely a reality in the bigger cities. But
yeah,
definitely cool. Not a huge.
It's a neat idea.
Not a huge fan of the Xbox TV implementation, but it's obviously going to get better.
Yeah, this is a step in the right direction at least. So.
Yeah. So there was another thing. I had a little time in my day, and I happened to notice there was a Vita class action lawsuit, and I'm like, "What's this all about?" If you bought a Vita before, what's the date? I don't have it in front of me. Basically, if you bought a Vita at launch, and a couple months after launch, there was a class action lawsuit to do with like false advertising. Basically, the Vita was kind of touted like, oh, you can play your games on the go, like multiplayer and so forth. I guess kind of the confusion with the 3G version that came out at launch as well, which they coincidentally got rid of. You could... Commercials showed guys on buses playing like the Call of Duty and whatever stupid games at the time, multiplayer. You can't do that. You can't even do that over Wi-Fi, like, honestly. So, you know, of course, this is North America, and if someone can sue you for something, they will. And there was a class action lawsuit. So it's really, really specific. Like, I think it's if you bought a Vita within the first maybe 4 months of its release, you have your receipt, you can fill out this form. I have to find it and post it on the site. So I have a launch Vita. So you can get $25 check.
Oh, wow. Make bank.
A $25 or a $25 PSN credit.
I think I'd take the PSN credit.
Or
probably get it faster.
Or there's like 3 bundles of some crappy games.
Oh, that you probably already own.
I think I might know one person besides myself that is eligible for this this refund. So anyway, if you have a Vita, you might want to just do a search, and I'm pretty sure you'll find it pretty easily. I'll try and post it up on the site. But you just fill out this form, and I sent mine out today. I went for the check because I figure I'll just basically go towards any game I want down the road.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I did not get my Vita at launch. I managed to get one of the white sweet ones with the Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes there's bonuses to, you know, waiting a little while.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about in terms of news?
No, I don't think there was any more news. I think that's it for news. We could probably slide into we already kind of covered our random topics earlier.
Yeah, we're talking about movies. You talked about Fan Expo. We talked about Fast 7. Maybe we'll talk more about the movie after you see it. I
think we could probably wander into our questions.
Yeah, well, before we do that, I want a mini rant again. I'm in a ranting. Rico's in a ranting mood. Ranting Rico.
Oh boy.
I don't know if you remember Last Generation, and I might have mentioned this to you before. Everyone used to make fun of PlayStation 4 and their firmware updates. Oh man, PlayStation 3. Every time I turn on PlayStation 3, it's a fucking update. It takes forever. I do a stupid thing. You know?
Yeah, I remember that.
Like every month, stability updates. They were like stupid updates to counter piracy and hacking, I guess. You know, they weren't necessarily legit. There was a lot of them, and they took a long time. That was, you know, a lot of people didn't like that about PS3. Xbox, they had their big, like, seasonal updates, which gave you a bunch of features. They maybe only had 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah, I think they were doing it quarterly, like 4 times a year or something. They were
super fast.
Yep.
They flip-flopped. But actually, I want to go back to this because Xbox used to tout, "Oh man, we don't have updates as often as them, and we add compelling content in our updates." And they're jabbing Sony because of the amount of updates.
Of course,
making fun
because that's what they do.
Making fun of them, right? And he's like, and our games run faster, and our resolution's better, and this and that, that thing. And then it's funny, things have flipped around. When I went to go play Forza the other day, I had an Xbox update.
And it took forever.
It took like 25 minutes. This is a system update. And I'm hardwired. Like, not wireless. Yeah. I'm hardwired on my Xbox One. It took 25 minutes. That's longer than any PS3 update I've ever done.
That's quite a substantial update.
The PS4 update. The PS4 updates, they take a couple minutes.
Not only that, they download in the background. Yeah. So I don't have to worry about that.
I'm like, what the hell, man? It's just flip-flopped. And then the PS4 is super fast. I just think it's kind of funny how things are backwards. And the thing is now, Xbox doesn't make fun of PlayStation and their firmware updates anymore.
No, of course not, because,
but
look at where they're
it's
at.
It's kind of funny, because Sony can be like, oh yeah, we have updates that, take a couple minutes, not 20 minutes. And
I think at the end of the day, like, you got to be smart about it, though. Like, I think Sony's I mean, they've had a few updates, there was that one over Christmas that kind of went not great. No. You know what I mean? Like, they released the update.
But I just think it's funny how Xbox's back in the day was just touting.
Oh yeah, they totally made fun of it.
Our updates are quick, and our updates are less frequent, and our updates are better, and then everything's flip-flopped around, and, they're just silent. Yeah. And Sony is more like a gentleman. They don't freaking point out the weakness or flaws of their competitors.
Yeah, currently at least, anyways.
I just think it's kind of funny. I was amazed how long it took. Amusing. I'm like, what the hell?
That seems like a strangely long update.
And that's not the first one. Most of them have been long like that. They take a long time for some reason. The Xbox overall, like, navigating around the menus, and I think it was someone said recently somewhere that they really want to work.
That was today.
It was that earlier today as well. That
was earlier today.
The Xbox was saying they know they want to make this stuff faster.
That was the boss of Xbox, like, Europe, was complaining about, saying that they needed to make their interface faster in the UI.
So that's not really a rant, but just a funny little difference between the two, because I've been playing a lot more Xbox One, so now I'm really seeing these differences. I hadn't touched it in a while, so it just really gets nitpicky.
That's fair.
So we got a couple questions, but before we get to the question, I gotta eat some crow here.
Uh-oh.
And we were talking shit about remasters last week.
Oh, okay.
And I never really thought about it from this angle. We've always been actively gaming.
Yep.
So remasters to us are a cash grab.
Totally.
And
huge cash grab.
To us, they're just gross, and we don't like them. But I didn't take it from the other angle. Well, not everyone gets to play as many games as us. They have other responsibilities. They're not fucking losers playing video games all the time like we are. They got big, fancy lives they live, and they do exciting stuff that they can't play games, right?
Okay.
So they miss these games, and I just got to apologize. It was pointed out to me that some people, no, they didn't get to play Batman. They didn't get to play the God of Wars. They didn't get to play any of these games. And they're like, oh, sweet. Now I get to play the better version. Mind you, they know it's not like a PS4. Like, these games are not next gen. They're just 1080p and running 60 frames a second, hopefully. So they are a better experience. So, I apologize looking at it from just, I've played everything. It is it's just I never missed anything. So I didn't see it from that angle.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when we kind of were initially talking about this, there was a few, like the last Devil May Cry, I didn't play it. And, I'll probably pick it up now for PS4, just because why the hell not? Yeah. So, I can kind of see that from that side. There are a few games here and there, that I'll probably pick up. I just hope, because I didn't buy the original. The bottom
line with these remasters is I just hope that they don't release broken games, which we didn't see with Master Chief Collection. Like, these games have been out for like years, and they release it broken.
Yeah,
and then I just really hope on the back end of things, they aren't taking people from new exciting projects to make these. Like for the quick cat.
Yes,
Like I don't like there could be a scarier trend going on here because we've seen companies scale back and we've seen that middle tier of game disappear. You know, it's AAA or it's indie and there's nothing in between. So if the in between is just remasters, that's kind of scary because like I don't want to just see remasters. Like,
no, I mean, I think if Lords of the Fallen has shown me anything, there is definitely a place for those in between games. I mean, it's definitely not a AAA title, but it's not a small indie title. It was a perfect example of an in-between game, and we need those still. Those need to happen.
I think the industry's healthy and it's not healthy. Like, you know what I mean? Like on the huge companies are doing good, but there's this.
I think it's just they're in a weird place.
Yeah, because like I don't want just AAA games. I like the crazy, wacky stuff they do, and I don't want it to just be indie stuff because takes 4 years, 5 years for an indie to make a game. You know?
Yeah, no, it does.
and if guys are making these games and they're using their life savings and it flops, well, we're not going to get any of it. Innovation. It's just going to be Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. And FIFA. That's all we're going to get.
Yeah, lots of FIFA.
FIFA
and Madden.
FIFA, COD, Madden.
Way more Madden
and
than I
Assassin's
even
Creed.
know what I know what to do with. Yeah.
No, I'm Borderlands. 50 versions of Borderlands.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's what we need, more Borderlands.
Do you want to read that question we got from Ryan?
From Robez.
Number one superfan in the house.
Hey man, I gotta give the guy, he has asked us a question every single week. That's pretty awesome. I'm hoping he starts something. So he asked us this week, what do you guys think about free-to-play games making the jump to consoles, and some even being developed specifically for the console crowd? Examples that he gave were Fable Legends and Gigantic, to name some. I don't really know if Gigantic would fall in there, but that's another story all in itself. My thoughts personally are, I have no problem with free to play as long as you're making an actual game that makes sense, that's fun to play, and that doesn't feel like it's nickel and diming me. One thing I got to admit that I'm loving about Marvel Heroes is that it is free to play, but if I want to, I can spend money, and it's cosmetic. It's things like that. It's costumes. It's, I can buy other characters if I want, but that's all cosmetic and it's all stuff. But the reality of it is that if I don't want to spend a dime, I don't have to, and the game isn't broken and I'm not missing anything. What I hate is when a developer builds a free-to-play game and they get to this position where you go play it and you hit a point where it feels like if you don't start spending money or if you don't, throw time and this and that at it, then all of a sudden you're missing out and you're losing because of it. And I hate that. Win. Yeah, exactly. The pay to win mentality is what I absolutely hate. So my thoughts on the jump to consoles is awesome. I mean, I think there's a few right now, like Warframe, for example, that made the jump to consoles. And it's a perfect example of that. If you want to just play it and enjoy it, you do not need to spend a dime. And it's fun, it's enjoyable. But if you want to and you're getting into it and this and that, then by all means, put some money into it, support those developers. That's awesome. I think that's a great example. But unfortunately, we see these other games that are coming out. And of course, now I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they try and nickel and dime you. They try to do the whole play the game and then, the time is, oh, you want to play some more? Well, here, give us more money and we'll speed things up. And
the mobile games.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, as long as that kind of stuff doesn't come along with it, then I'm more or less fine with it.
I think it's cool. I think I'm excited for free to play. Like, on my Xbox One, I kind of want to play Smite on my Xbox One when it comes out.
I mean, playing that as a PC player, I don't know how the controls would be.
It'd just be interesting, but you didn't have that avenue before, so now you got these big fancy systems. So, I think these free to play games are awesome. Like,
I think Smite on the Xbox One is just smart. I think it's it's if you want, you can pay some money. You can pay I believe they're still offering the same deal that they did on the PC. You pay $30. You'll get every character in the game. You'll get every character that will be in the game. And, but they're smart about it. They're not making it pay to win.
Yeah.
Everything that you're paying for, it's all cosmetic. It's all just crap like that. You're paying for characters that you want to play, or you're paying for cosmetic stuff, but you're not paying for anything in the game that is going to give you an advantage over an unpaying person, right?
I just think it's cool.
And that's awesome.
That you can get these games on your consoles now. Like, they didn't have the hooks on the back end, I think, to do it with the last generation. So, we saw Gigantic.
Yeah, we did.
We played it.
It was a blast.
At PAX.
It was a blast.
Yeah, it was cool. Like,
very, very cool. I'm looking forward to playing more of that, actually.
And that's going to be on Xbox One and Windows 10.
Yep.
That game was fun. I'm looking forward to that. And a game like that, like, to be honest, if it wasn't free to play, I don't think it would get any traction. Yeah. Like, cause you look at it, just to make kind of a comparison, like if you look at Evolve's the kind of game that probably should have been free to play.
Yeah, I could see Evolve being free to play. They have enough hooks in it that they could have done it
pretty well. But from what I hear, that game's just dead now. It's just dropped off.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I didn't really... we got hands-on early, and it was so much fun.
God, it was awesome, but...
It was a blast. But I could also see it being one of those games where I wouldn't play it much
play it a few
after...
times, and then you're done. And if you don't have a full team of friends, it's not fun. But
yeah, I think that's probably got more to do with it than anything.
Skins for the hunters and the monsters and stuff. I think they could really do a legit thing there.
Oh, from what I understand, there is a ton of skins and things for the monsters and the hunters and everything else.
You got to pay for it.
That's all there.
Plus, you got to pay for the game, so it makes no sense.
Yep. So when done well, I look forward to it. If it's done poorly, then that sucks.
I think free to play is awesome.
And it's going to be a bummer.
And with it coming to console, it's just, that's awesome.
I mean, you want to see free to play done fairly well. Like I said, play Marvel Heroes. Or, hey, if you want to see something that's been done well already on the console, check out Warframe for the PS4. Yeah, or DCUO on the PS3, actually. That was also done very well.
It's on PS4 as well.
Yep.
I never played it.
So, I played the crap out of DCUO. Got to the very end. Essentially got some high-end content. It was a great game. And again, not pay to win. So.
Nice.
Done well. Yeah.
I think we're getting ready to wrap it up. Did you have anything you needed to add?
I don't think so. Not today, man.
Save any other news we might have missed for next week. I'll have a bunch of stuff to talk about next week in terms of playing games. At least 3 new things.
Oh, sweet.
And I'm sure there's a rumor out there they're gonna announce the Lego Toys to Life product tomorrow.
Oh man.
So that's going to be your Skylanders Disney Infinity amiibo bullshit with Lego now.
Oh no.
Knowing Lego though, they know how to make toys, so they'll probably have supply.
And they'll probably be something you have to build.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I wonder what kind of approach they're going to take if you actually build the toys that you bring to life, or it must be. Or maybe, who knows?
Yeah,
it could just be Lego minifigs that have RF or have the NFC stuff built into them. So that might be there's a rumor tomorrow, but we'll see.
Okay, so fair enough.
Check out our website. Like our Facebook
Geekoholics.com.
page. It's all Geekoholics. I think if you search Geekoholics, you can find it all on Google. Our Facebook page, our Twitter, our YouTube channel. I really want to get into making more YouTube content. What kind of stuff does anyone out there want to see? Hit me up on Twitter. Let us know on the Facebook page. The YouTube content takes a lot of work to make.
Yeah.
I'm not a super video editor, and I'm trying my best to make some stuff, but it's very time consuming. It's hard with a full-time job. But I'd really like to make a run on it and get like a schedule of stuff up there. I'm just wondering what people actually want to see, Yeah, right now, it's just a copycat doing what everyone else is doing, but it's just like, it's hard to get motivated, right?
Yeah, I agree. I've been trying to do some more streaming here whenever I can, so hopefully I'll be a little bit more motivated here to
maybe
to do
we can
that.
come up with a streaming schedule.
Yeah, definitely. So you can definitely hit me up on Twitch. It's actually a little bit funny on Twitch. I'm Angel Few on Twitch, ANJEL_Few, FEW. So
yeah, I'm Rico Cast on Twitch, but I never stream. It's so random.
Yeah,
but you can follow me on there. Maybe I'll try and make a unified Geekoholics streaming page. The plan is one day we'll be streaming this podcast as we record it, and that'll be on our Twitch channel. So that's the plan. We're going to be doing that soon. It might be another couple weeks to a month before we get to that. I just got to make time to figure out the layouts for that, but that's coming.
Yeah, that will be fun.
So you can follow me at Rick F with no K, RICF.
And you can follow me at Dayne Cody, DAYNE CODY.
Yeah, don't be afraid to hit us up on Twitter. Or on Facebook or anywhere, man.
I'm on Twitter lots.
And, we're in iTunes now. Make sure if you've got an Apple device, if you can spend some time and write a review, 5 stars, help us get discovered out there. Our downloads aren't bad. I'm quite surprised with how many people are listening to the show. We're in the triple digits, which is pretty nice considering
exciting.
I haven't done a lot of promotion.
Hey man, I'm happy if people are listening and they're wanting more. That makes me happy because I know you and I both love doing this.
It makes me happy. So once again, thanks for listening. That was episode 3, and we're out.
Later.